In the Flash Season 9, we had only one arc so far. We're going to have another arc for the last 4 episodes of the final season. But the first arc was the Rogues and Red Death, which I think is debatably one of the worst arcs the show's ever had, which is depressing, especially in the final season. Especially after Season 8, which I believe is the second best season of the series, where Eric Ross really showed himself, proved that he can do something good with this show, and then it just went down the toilet. The next season, which is this season, which, with the exception of 909, and some good scenes in 901 and 905, 904 too, this season's not been great. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not great. We have 4 episodes left, and I think with 909 and 910 being Barry-centric, the most present this season has had for an episode, I think 910 will be great, But, nonetheless, Red Death was a villain for Season 9. The first arc was about the Rogues and Red Death. And the entire arc was not rated well. It was probably the lowest rated arc since Season 7, with the Forces, and then Savitar in Season 3, and Cicada in Season 5, and Devon in Season 4. This is really a low for the series, for many reasons. Until 909 came around, and then it kind of changed some things, for me, at least, for the arc. Granted, I still don't care for the arc, because it focuses more on the Rogues and Red Death for whatever reason. I feel like if Red Death was the main, villain of the arc, it would have been great if they did it right. But they didn't, and we got stuck with loopholes and things that didn't make sense. Again, till 909. But there's still some loopholes. But 909 answered a lot of questions for Red Death just by one line that was said by Oliver, and it was said that Red Death is from Earth 4125. Now, why is that important? Because this entire time, we believe that Red Death was from another timeline on Earth Prime. But she's not. Thank God. And I'm also kind of glad she's not from Earth 1952, because that kind of leaves the door open for, Bruce Wayne's Red Death. Which, FYI, they could easily do a comic thing for. If they really wanted to. Just bring in Bruce Wayne, make him Red Death in the comics for the Arrowverse. I think that'd be a cool thing to do. But what it really comes down to is Oliver saying that Red Death's from our Earth confirms that Red Death is not from our timeline. It doesn't explain why she thought that. Were she and Barry fighting on Earth 4125? Because we know it's Barry's the Flash. Our Barry's the Flash on that Earth. Grant Gustin's Flash. Were they fighting, and then Barry accidentally opened up a wormhole and Red Death got sucked into it? Because she's not part of Speed Force. She has artificial speed. The suit gives her speed. She's a normal human being without that suit. That's why she made the suit. So, she can't just access the Speed Force through that, last I checked. So you would assume that Barry, Earth 4125's Barry, did that. And then it led to the inevitable conclusion that Red Death ended up on our Earth. And maybe she just assumed she time traveled to the past? Because she was from the future, right? So, travel back countless years in the past. We don't know how many she thinks. And decided to make a cosmic treadmill to possibly kill the Flash so that she can get back to, quote-unquote, her timeline. That's still a loophole. A plot hole, I should say. And I think it makes it even more confusing now because, what if that had worked? Barry literally would have died for nothing. Because Red Death wouldn't have been able to get back home. So, it would have been pointless. Because Barry didn't know there was a multiverse, like he could access it anyways. Open up the portal to Speed Force and Red Death runs into it? Then what? She just sources Speed Force? His organic speed, like God speed? No. What's going to happen there? So that's another thing to question. Another thing that actually got answered through this that I thought about before I made this video was that, remember when Red Death, when she was introduced in 901 and 902, I think it was too, she was like phasing and like she couldn't stop till she got Hartley's gear that stopped her from vibrating. We never got an answer for that. Like, why was she doing that? I think it's connected to her being from our Earth, because from our timeline, that's not how it works. Armageddon was another timeline on Earth Prime, and it didn't make Barry stuck in phasing, you know, the entire time when he returned and when he went to the Armageddon timeline. Which, by the way, Armageddon's timeline made 100 times more sense than whatever Red Death timeline BS we got. You know, something you will about the time issues in Armageddon, and, you know, you look back at it, probably are something you can nitpick about. But, like, at least Armageddon made sense with the time issues, right? Red Death is just like, thinks she's in our timeline, but she's really not, you know, but whatever. But I do think that was somewhat connected to Red Death being stuck in phasing in the first episodes that we, again, never got an explanation for. Because if you really think about it, right, Earths vibrate, every Earth vibrates at a different frequency than our Earth. That's why we don't see them. That's why Bear didn't see them, right? So I wonder if Red Death got stuck somehow in, like, the distance between the Earths, and she got stuck in phasing, and she couldn't stop. It wasn't hurting her, it looked like, but she definitely wasn't doing it just to scare, because literally in 902 at the end, she stopped phasing. So, to the point where she showed up in 903 and, you know, went after Barry. So, I will say this. 909 kind of really just saved the season. At least the Red Death arc. Not the entire season, but definitely the Red Death arc. I don't think it made it better, though. Because I'm going to rewatch the Red Death arc. Hope to God that I remember what happened in 909 at that point. Which I probably will. And look back on the arc and say, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't, but this does now. Like, we're stuck with that, you know? Like, again, the whole Baron and Cosmic Treadmill thing, that would not make sense for Red Death to get back to Another Earth. You know, because Barry couldn't do that. Or, you know, how she didn't know she was not from Another Earth. Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't think it made sense to Eric Wallace or the writers. Which, also to bring up, I mean, did they really plan this for 909? Like, or they just throw that in there for the hell of it? Like, were they like, oh yeah, right from Another Earth, we've been playing this for the last 9 episodes. Are you kidding me? Here's how season 9 should have went, and it would have made the Red Death arc probably, like, way better than what it was. You have the premiere in maybe 902 and 903, maybe just 901, 902, be Oliver and Butterworth returning, okay? Oliver reintroduces the multiverse to Barry, right? We go through all that, just take out Wally and take out Barry's birthday party in 909. 901 is all about Barry, Oliver, and Butterworth, okay? Then 902, you bring in, you know, Wally and Butterworth and, you know, not Barry's birthday party. You leave that for 909 or whatever. But you bring in Wally because he's connected to the multiverse, so Butterworth goes and gets him. Or Barry goes and gets him for whatever reason to help fight Butterworth. And then, you know, the whole arc wraps up. You bring Dig back too, so that Oliver and Dig can get one last goodbye and all that. Or is it for 909? I don't know. But Oliver and Barry should have had a scene in 901. It should have been all about Barry and Oliver in 901. Like, that Leanne Yu stuff, it could have been the entire 901, and it would have been the best premiere of the series. Period. Everyone I've talked to about season 9, and everyone watching this probably agrees with me, that whole scene with Baron Oliver and Lee and Yu in 909, the entire episode could have been that, and I would have been perfectly happy with it. If that was 901 or 902, that would have been perfect. Because you know what it would have done? It would have set up Red Death. But instead, we got stuck with 3 fillers. I guess 4, because 909 was a filler. But, 909 was good. The other 3 were dog water. And a crappy arc to start out the final season. Because A, they were focused on Barry and Iris, which is stupid. B, the Rogues, both of them, Team Flashes and the Rogues. And then Red Death, and her arc being screwed over. And Keone, which for whatever reason took 902 a middle of a story arc in the final season to focus on her. Like, I like Keone, she's not a bad character, but, I miss Caitlin. I'm glad we saw her in 909, by the way. But that could have been a thing in 901 for 902. We could say goodbye to Caitlin and Frost in 902. And then 903, like, we have a filler that's, not like a crappy filler, like 908. Or, 908 with Baron Iris, that time loop crap. Or you introduce what 901 did, which was that nuke and cut the boomerang and all that. You introduce that in 903. And then 904, you do the the filler. And then 905, you do whatever 903 was. I don't remember. And then, what would it be? 905 or 906? You do what 904 and 905 were. It's a 3-episode arc. There you go. And you do 2 fillers. 908 would have been, I don't know, something. With Barry and Iris, or maybe not. Maybe it's a Seal episode 908. And then 909 was like Barry's birthday party. And, Diggle returns, and Wally returns, Sing returns, Joe returns. Assuming it all worked out. It didn't honestly work out for Joe, but, in the perfect world, it would have, right? And then, Oliver can make a special appearance at the end of 909, doing what they did at the end of actual 909, right? With that iconic pilot scene that they redid. And then you end up with 910 through 913 being the Cobalt Blue arc. That's how you could have done this season, Eric Wallace. It wouldn't have taken that much to legitimately sit down and say, oh yeah, let's do the Oliver episode first. So just Barry and Oliver introduce the multiverse, and then here's Red Death. That would have made the arc this season 100 times better if this episode was way earlier, right? Then again, our standards would be really high. So I don't think that was it depends how you look at it. If you think the Oliver and Barry scenes introduced multiverse was in 901 or 902, and then Red Death comes in, do you think that would have made the arc better? I personally think it would have, because I was nitpicking it so much, being why the hell are they writing this? It makes no sense. And now I need to rewatch it, thanks to 909, knowing what I know from Oliver, that read this from their Earth. I need to rewatch it and make sure it does make sense or it doesn't make sense, because right now I'm debating it. I don't know. I shouldn't be doing that with an arc that we ended 2 months ago. That's a problem. We're in the final season and I'm spending time questioning whether or not an arc made sense that was completed 2 months ago because an episode that happened last week. Why? Why didn't you do this in the beginning of the season? It would have kept a lot of viewers in instead of them leaving. It really would have, Eric Wallace. Jesus. I love this show and I would defend it on most occasions, but holy crap, this season, from beginning to now, has not been perfect. Okay? 909 was not perfect. It was an amazing episode, but it was not perfect. I mean, the Chalegra crap, the position of 909, where it fell into in the season, was not great. Like I said, it could have easily been a 902 episode and would have been perfect. Right? Because it would have been better than the Keone crap that we got. What the hell? Whatever. I'm going on a rant. Thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good day. 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 Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.